The Georgia Bulldogs had a tough game in Lexington, Kentucky, but managed to pull off a close 13-12 win. For much of the game, Georgia trailed behind the Kentucky Wildcats, but a key touchdown in the second half by Branson Robinson put them in the lead, and they didn't give it up after that. Kentucky had a chance to win the game with less than 30 seconds left and managed to get the ball in a position to score. However, they failed to move past the 50-yard line, and Georgia's defense held strong. Throughout the game, Georgia's defense played a crucial role, stopping Kentucky's offense time and time again. Even though Kentucky never managed to score a touchdown, they did make 4 field goals, thanks to some big mistakes by Georgia's defense. Kentucky also turned the ball over once and fumbled 3 times, though they recovered 2 of those fumbles. Despite these mistakes, Kentucky found some success with their running game, and there were moments when it seemed like Georgia couldn't stop them. On the offensive side, the Bulldogs had a tough time. Their quarterback, Carson Beck, didn't throw any touchdowns and only managed to rack up 160 passing yards. The team's leading rusher, Trevor Etienne, ran for 79 yards on 19 carries. Meanwhile, Dominic Lovett was the leading receiver for Georgia, catching passes for a total of 89 yards. At the halfway point in the game, Georgia trailed Kentucky 6-3. As the two teams finished the first half, the Bulldogs were behind but still in the game. The first half didn't go well for Georgia, and the team struggled to build any momentum on offense. The game started with some intensity. After Georgia's first punt, a fight broke out between the two teams, pushing Kentucky back to their own 1-yard line. Georgia faced some trouble early on when Carson Beck fumbled a snap near their own red zone. This forced them to punt again, giving Kentucky a short field to work with. Kentucky took advantage of this, scoring a 55-yard field goal to take the lead 3-0. Georgia's offense couldn't get anything going for the rest of the first quarter, and they struggled to move the ball down the field. In the second quarter, Georgia's defense continued to play well, but their offense still couldn't find its rhythm. Some questionable penalties against Georgia helped Kentucky keep their drives alive. However, the Bulldogs' defense made a big play when their pass rush forced Kentucky to fumble, and Georgia recovered the ball. This turnover led to a field goal that tied the game at 3-3. Kentucky responded with a 2-minute drive that ended with another field goal, putting them ahead 6-3 by halftime. As the game entered the second half, Georgia knew they needed to turn things around if they wanted to keep their winning streak alive. Kentucky's defense had made it difficult for Georgia to score, but with Branson Robinson's touchdown, Georgia finally took the lead. The rest of the game was a battle of defenses, with neither team being able to break through for any more big plays. In the final moments of the game, Kentucky had one last chance to win. They had the ball and tried to move into field goal range, but Georgia's defense stepped up and stopped them from crossing the 50-yard line. This sealed the win for the Bulldogs, who managed to escape with a narrow victory. Despite the win, it was a rough game for Georgia. Their offense struggled throughout, and their defense, while strong at times, gave up too many opportunities. The team will need to improve if they hope to keep winning in the future. Kentucky, on the other hand, can take some positives from the game, especially with how their running game performed. However, turnovers and missed opportunities cost them a chance at victory. In the end, Georgia's defense was the difference maker. Although their offense couldn't get much going, their defense kept them in the game and made the key plays needed to secure the win. It wasn't a pretty victory, but in football, a win is a win.